Hello and welcome to another episode of making Diablo clone in Lisp. So today I'm going to be trying to fix a couple of bugs. The second will be a bit harder than the first one, so give me a sec, I will start the thing for the keyboard. So the first bug would be to emit, or how I put it in my bug tracker is to emit attack sound on attack end. So the thing is, right now I'm emitting the sound for the attack blow, for instance, for some critter. I forget, I've removed that critter. Give me a sec. So let me just get back that spider end here. Yeah, that one. Yeah, and now I'm enjoying my new loading screen I've made just this week. So so it emits, as you can maybe hear, the attack sound. This kind of, this one. So the thing is, this sound is emitted when the attack animation just starts. So the thing is, this attack could be, for instance, broken for some reason. For instance, if someone attacks this critter in turn. So it could be, that's a bug in the sense that there might be situations in which the attack started, that sound was emitted, but the attack of that critter never actually happened. So for this to fix, I would obviously need to emit that attack sound when attack only ends, when the animation sequence is at its end. So I guess I'm going to be needing to modify the engine a bit, because right now those are kinda automatic sounds. They're just emitted. So let me have a look. Well, first of all, is my my JIT tree is not very clear. Just maybe let me stash that stuff, or I don't know. I will just stash that. So the thing is, in my sprite system, I'm just emitting that sound. Let me just see, where was it? Oh, nothing about sound here. I guess it's in sound system. Sprite. Here is that event handler that's responsible for that behavior. So when the when sprite stance changes, that's this event handler is for. Then I'm just getting that entity, and then I'm trying to load the sound with the name that's comprised of what's that? The prefab name, the layer, and the stance. So what would be the prefab name, I wonder? Oh, I guess that's the field of a sprite. Yeah, right. So so for instance, the prefab name could be spider end, and then layer could be body, and then stance would be attack. So I guess there is this. Okay, let's just see to be sure. So in folder resources, there would be the folder sounds, which will contain all of those. Weird. All of those sounds, and one of those would be spider end, body, hit. Swing. Spider end, body, swing. So that's the actual animation, the actual sound that's emitted on the end of animation. So the thing is, I want to somehow distinguish different sounds. So I want some of those still to be emitted on the animation start, and some of them on the animation end. Or would I actually need that animation start kind? Let us see. I think I do need those, because for instance the death sound should start at death animation. that makes sense. Or for instance, all of those sounds for the loot being dropped, all of those are also should play. All of those sounds should play at animation start. So yeah, that makes sense. But again, for the swing animation, I want it to be played at the end. So let us think, how can we do that? So the thing is, I'm processing that in sprite stance changed. Okay, so probably I could also use this very same event handler, and just in this event handler I could play the the sound for the previous stance, if that is making any sense. Alright, so we have a stance, but do we have the old stance? Okay, let's search for that. Think, where am I emitting this event? So yeah, here, issue blah blah blah. Okay, I'm not actually having the old stance, I'm only passing the new one to that event. Right, so I think I might want to have the old one. Okay, so that one wouldn't be very hard to make, I guess. Okay, so first of all, let's add that new field to this event. So that would be a new stance. Or let us maybe leave it at stance. No, let us change that to new stance. That means that I would also need to change all of the entries in code. And that's pretty... Well, there are several entries, so let's just change that. Okay, so first of all, let us change it here. We will rename it to new stance. Yeah, recklessly continue. Right, new stance. So now let's change it in all of the other places. So first of all, in that very handler we are working on, so instead of stance, that would be new stance. Yeah, right. Oh, defined but never used. How come? I mean, why? It is here. Sound name. Okay, is it like the field in sprite? Because I guess that might be, yeah, that's the field instance. So this actually is not making very much sense to have the stance, the new stance in this event. Where is that? Okay, where is that event? I'm oh yeah, here. So yeah, but I maybe I will leave it here, because to get that stance from the actual entity, it would take a couple of extra memory hops, I think. At least a couple, and for that it would be only one, I guess, only one memory hop. So yeah, let's leave it here. Let's just leave it. So I would also want to change it in all other places. I mean the field name from stance to new stance. So that would be here, new stance, also here. I guess I would have to restart my Lisp fully, because I'm too lazy to recompile every function. Yeah, new stance, then here. Oh, that's a lot of places. So here, then obviously here, and then yeah, idle. Yeah, okay, thanks. And then this stance here. That's actually a simple Diablo clone. So if you start it, it's all with those debugging things. So pardon for this green and red stuff, but actually, yeah, you can just kill things and yeah, have fun, have a little bit of fun, hopefully. Yeah, right. So, where was I? The new stance. Okay, I did that. So now I would need the new here, the new field for an old stance. So that would be the old animation stance I had for this entity. So that would be also a keyword. Alright, and that's my old stance. Oops, what? Why? Yeah, of course, recklessly continue. Right, so now I would presumably have to change, to add this old stance to all of the different, to all the other places I'm calling that. Alright, let's do that. So, yeah, mostly that would be in this file in sprite system.lisp. So, new stance idle. So the old stance was the old stance. So what was old stance anyway? Oh, right. So the thing is, yeah, here I have a little chicken egg problem, because that's the initial stance change when this entity is just loaded, and my old stance is kinda non-existent. So I think I can pass a nil here, but it wouldn't pass the type check for a keyword. So I might have some special keyword for that. Wait, is nil actually not a keyword? First of all, is it a symbol? So how do I forgot, how do I check the type is type, no. Okay, I would have to Google that, awkward. But again, I'm not knowing common Lisp a whole much. So, common Lisp, yeah, of course, common Lisp. Check if type whatever. Oh, okay, I will investigate that. I don't have Instagram. Maybe I'll think about that. Thanks. Right. So check if, yeah, I'll just quickly note that. Thanks. Right. So check if the type check if type of object is kinda, I don't know. Let's see. So there is type of, which I know about, obviously, but I want to, oh yeah, type P. Yeah, that's just what I need. So type P of nil. So is it a symbol? It is a symbol. Okay. So is it a keyword though? I think maybe not. Yeah, so it's not a keyword. But the thing is that every keyword is a symbol, because it's kind of subtype. So if I try some, I don't know, keyword and check if it's a symbol, it is a symbol. Right, so maybe I could change, where was it? So I could change the keyword to a symbol here. Would that make much sense? No, I guess it wouldn't make that much sense. Yeah, so probably I would just have some made up stance here. Something like, I don't know, none, or so wait a sec, none. Yeah, so let's just have a look at the sprite, at some actual sprite. Yeah, spider ant will do. So how do I actually name those stances? So they are like idle, walk, swing, block, etc. Death, crit death. So what if I call one of those none? Yeah, so that's not making much of sense here. So yeah, I guess I could use that as some superficial, made-up, non-existent stance. So yeah, okay, that's my old stance here, and then this parent stance changed. Well, I wonder why I'm using the parentheses here in that macro issue. Oh yeah, that's because I have a keyword argument here to asynchronously issue it. Okay, yeah, never mind. So here I also want this old stance, which in this case would be, what would that be? Oh, okay, I would have to save the value here because I'm rewriting it. Damn it. So maybe I want some tiny inline function that will do both at the same time. Like something like, yeah, I already looking at one. I already have switch stance. And where am I using that event also anyway? Okay, so this one, this switch stance is just with some extra checks. So extra checks. Okay. All right, I think I can make this work. So I can make some function like with percent something. Switch. Damn it. Switch stance. Entity and new stance. So that would obviously be needing to be in line. Obviously. 9% switch. Damn it. Switch stance. And then the type. So that would obviously be the same as this one. Just with percent sign to mark it kinda internal. So and that would just use this macro to access entity, to access namely the sprite component. And here yeah, so I would save the old stance to some variable. That would be stance. And then I would just set off the stance. Wait, would that work? Because I'm using inside of this with sprite macro, I'm actually using symbol macro let. Would that work? So symbol macro let would change this stance to a function call which gets the component value. So yeah, I guess that should work. Okay, so I would just basically do the same. I would set f stance to new stance and then issue this event. Right, so maybe I would also even want a docstring, so immediately, yeah, immediately. Yeah, so perhaps I would also change the docstring here. Okay, so I will do it in a second. So this would just immediately switch stance of sprite entity to new stance. Maybe I would need to reword that. Switch the stance of the entity sprite. No, let's just leave it be that way. So immediately switch stance on the sprite entity to new stance without any extra checks. Right. So set f stance new stance, then issue sprite stance changed entity this entity. So old stance would be this old stance I've saved in the variable, and then new stance just the new stance. Yeah, here we go. And it's in line, and that's, yeah, okay, let's just compile that and that. Okay, cool. So now that I have this tiny helper, I could replace those calls, at least in several places. Right, so first of all here, I would just percent switch stance of an entity to new stance. Right, counter frame. Yeah, wait a second. Maybe I would also want to move those things. Okay, let's see at different invocations of this. Yeah, well, here I'm just changing the... Okay, weird. I think I smell a little bug here, I guess. Yes, I'm changing... Okay, here, what happens here in system update of sprite system? I'm just changing... yeah, I'm testing if the current animation stance has played till its end, and if it did, I am... what am I doing? What? Like a thing counter? Yeah, I'm changing the frame to the appropriate next frame. And then I'm changing the time counter, and that's all I'm doing. The time counter. Yeah, okay. And here, I'm also setting time counter, but to 0. Oh, yeah, okay. And then I'm setting frame to appropriate frame. So yeah, that's basically the the issue of changing time counter. I mean, is it making much sense that here I'm changing so here I'm just decfing, that is subtracting from a time counter the value of frame duration left, right? And this frame duration left is what it is. It's like the current frame duration minus delta time, right? Frame counter, yeah, weird. So my maths might be a bit off here. They just might be. Because, yeah, so here I'm subtracting... Wait a sec. So that's the other branch in F, a time counter to delta time. Oh yeah, that's needed to switch to a next. Right, so this trickery with a time counter is needed to kinda play the animation, like the one animation nicely without some extra like tricky parts, like so here, yeah, so here it is making sense. And if I'm switching completely to a different animation, like to completely different animation, that is only logical to reset time counter to 0. Yeah, so I guess there's no bug here. There's actually no bug. Yeah, okay, cool. So switch stance with percent. So I'm calling it here entity new stance, which means I don't need this issue here and this setf here. Yeah, that's it. So that's my switch stance, and yeah, I want to change a docstring. So it immediately switches stance of the sprite entity to new stance if no, not if, unless it is already at that stance or the current stance is non-interruptible. stance is non-interruptible. That is, it is playing some animation of a hit or the death animation. Those are both examples of non-interruptible animation. Right, immediately switches stance on sprite identity, blah blah blah, unless it is already at that stance or the current stance is non-interruptible. Yep. So let's, oh, how do I, yeah, okay. Let's do that, format the code, and yeah, here we go. So that's my switch stance. Okay, so where else am I using this issue sprite stance changed? I guess I also want to replace it with that thing. So that would be percent switch stance, entity, and next stance. Wait, how is it working? I mean, where am I? Oh, yeah, next stance is... oh, yeah, so it is a cont. So I'm using that as the cont value. Weird, yeah, so I'm checking if that is non-nil. Yeah, a bit weird code, but yeah, it works. So, switch stance X entity, next stance. Then I don't need this line and I don't need this line. Alright, cool. And also here, I want to change to idle. So I'm using percent switch stance, entity, idle. Yeah, that's it. So I don't need this and I don't need this. Okay, cool. It is a bit less of a code now, which is always a good thing. I mean, I just love removing code in spite of adding new one. Alright, so where else is that issue thing? Right, in this one. So this is the place where I'm initially issuing that thing when the entity is just created, when the sprite is just created, which makes sense. And then, okay, wait a sec. Idle. Am I actually setting the stance to idle? Oh, I don't think I do. Weird. Oh no, but maybe it is just the default in that component. Yeah, the default is idle. All right. So, okay. So where else? Yeah, issue. So here is this helper function, which basically just sets a new stance and then issues the corresponding event. And then the last one is the handler for the entity death. So let's have a look at this one. Oh, I just had an idea. So I'm actually using the death mechanics for kind of living entities, for living characters, for a player or mobs, etc. But maybe I can reuse that for instance, for loot, because loot is also an extra entity in the game. And then how do I use death for that? Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Let me just maybe write it down somewhere in events, maybe. So I might want to reuse death mechanics in other places, for instance, for loot. Okay, I will just have a think about that later. Right, where was I? So entity died. Yeah, so here I'm changing stance to what exactly? Oh yeah, it would be death or crit death, depending on the last amount of damage that entity suffered. Right, so here I basically also can use this helper percent switch stance. So I want to switch stance of entity to that new stance. And yeah, that's it. So I don't need this line then, and this line too. Alright. Yeah, cool. It compiles. So maybe, yeah, maybe I would want to restart the whole Lisp image. Okay, so where was I? Now I have this new field in sprite stance changed event, which means I can use that for somewhere here, somewhere in sprite system. Oh yeah, I am at sprite system, in sound system. I can use, yeah, now I can rewrite a bit this handler for sound system for this sprite stance changed event. So now I can actually try and play the sound for a previous stance, if only if it exists, of course. And yeah, right, and I maybe want some different name for that to not mix it. Maybe I would even want to rename some of those things. So let me, okay, so I don't need this. Yeah, and maybe I want, so will my demo still work, I wonder? Or will it crash already because I've recompiled some functions? No, it is not crashing. Okay, cool. So what I wanted to check, and for this I would have to restart the game. I wanted just to demonstrate this bug. So for instance, let's take this swing animation. It has some time, which is 120 milliseconds. So let's just change it to some much greater number, like tenfold, second and second point to. Yeah, let's save it and let's just see. So, if I start a new game and if you look closely, you'll see that first this critter attacks the player character, and only then, after a second, it actually lands the blow. So I mean, the first comes the sound of attack, and only the second after comes the attack itself. So let's just see. Yeah, see the sound? And now it slowly grabs you. And now again, the sound, and only then it attacks you. And then again. So that's just the problem here. Alright, so let's just continue. So I'm currently thinking so I'm thinking whether should I change all of those names to for instance, should I just add the suffix like end, or rather begin, to indicate that this sound should be played at the beginning of animation sequence? Or should I just leave it be and then have the end suffix at the file names? Again, I'm not liking very much the magic in file names, but that's the simplest way I could do that. And I mean, I could had some file, for instance, but in which I could just write down the correspondence between the animations and between animations and sounds. Wait a sec. I could just reuse the. Oh, I could do it so much better. I could just use the mechanics I have in ASC Sprite, this wonderful program for sprite editing, and namely this thing is cell properties, if I'm recalling correctly. Yeah, the cell properties. So for instance, let's have a look at the death animation. It has some extra property, which is it should be non-interruptible. And indeed, we have here a tiny bit of Lisp code, which is just a plist. It's just the property list, so just basically the list of key value pairs, and it just says that this very animation, or rather this very cell, this like frame, should be non-interruptible. So I could just use those properties or these property lists to add the names of the sounds that should be played at those. Oh man, that's so cool. Yeah, right. And that way I might just not rely on the magic in those sound file names. I mean, to have all of those things in the file name. It's not very clever way to make it. So yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome idea I had. Well, cool. So how do I do that? So obviously I would have to change this very handler. And I will just copy it and then comment it all. Right. So instead of doing this shit with making this magic file name, I could just refer to sprite properties or a frame properties and then just have a sound here. Man, that's amazing idea. That's actually very cool. Yeah, okay. So first of all, how do I access those properties in my code? Let's have a look. Time counter, where was that? Frame directions. Yeah, frame data. I think that's the frame data. Yeah, right. Get hash blah blah blah, non-interruptible aref from that frame. Yeah, but the thing is, I maybe want that. Yeah, I maybe would need to change a scope of that. Yeah, okay, frame data, get it. So the thing is, I would want to change the scope of this event handler. I would need to change the scope of that to process not the stance changed, but rather the frame changed. Oh, yeah, okay. So in sprite system, I mean, isn't that a better place to do that? Yeah, the bad thing about all of those stuff is that this thing where changing the animation frame also emits some sound, it introduces the tight coupling between systems, which I actually want to avoid. So here I'm just trying at least to avoid it, but by using the event handlers. But again, that's kind of a tight coupling anyway. So yeah, I guess I'm okay with adding some stuff here. Yeah, and also the good thing about previous version of code was that this sound system has very little code, so I can add some extra this handler for sprites. And the sprite system has quite a lot of code, almost 400 lines. And yeah, adding new lines here does not feel right. Yeah, it's not feeling very right. But again, that might be not a lot of lines, actually. Yeah, right. So what would be the logic here? The logic is that every time I change a frame, I should look into that dictionary, into that properties of that frame, and play a sound if is it here. Well, first of all, I would have to actually add all of those here, but anyway. Right. So the thing is that I actually change a frame in lots of places, I guess. Let's just see. So frame, where was it? Okay, so this is this variable I'm after, frame. So where do I change it? The frame seconds, what's that? Load, yeah, some stuff to load. The actual file. So where is it? Okay, frames. So this is all the stuff to just load the ASE file. A a lot of code, but anyway. Make prefab. Okay, right. So first of all, yeah, maybe I would just mark places where I need to actually try and emit sounds. So first of all, I would need to emit it here. Or rather, just like frame change, emit sound. Yeah, I will copy that command. So yeah, the first place is here, just when the entity is created. Then, where else? Stance interruptible. Yeah, okay. Here frame data, switch. Okay, switch stance. So I would want maybe change it here. Oh, and also here. Frame first. Yeah, okay. So here, and let's see where else. Frame finished P. That's just the predicate. Frame finished P. Stance finished P. Yeah, okay. System update. So somewhere here, I bet I would also need to emit a sound. Yeah, actually here. So set of frame. Could that that setf in the code be so that I'm setting this frame to the very same frame? So let's see, last stance. Oh, yeah, okay. Frame. So it could be, for instance, for a death animation, because for that I would have for the last frame in the death animation, I would have the property last stance set to true, and I would just keep having this same frame over and over. So because, well, the entity is dead. And yeah, I guess that's the only place where it is the same frame, but that's actually an edge case, because for that frame I wouldn't have any sounds anyway. Right. So where else? So here, yeah, I obviously need to do that too. And where else? Frame width, system draw. No, not here. And oh, entity date. Right. So the frame, the first here, new stance, and obviously here. Yeah, okay. Let's search for that XXX comment. So these are 4 places where we just started, where we just created the sprite component in this helper, and then in system update, and in the handler for system, I mean for the entity death. So where am I actually using this helper, I wonder? Oh, it's not even used in this file, so where then? Oh, right, in combat system, and then so here it is not used, as we just saw, and then in character system to change to run an animation, and then also here to change to a swing or hit animation. Yeah, okay. Alright then. switch stance. Yeah, okay, I'm just thinking how to combine that in one nice function. Yeah, right, so I'm noticing that I'm using this % switch stance in every place that I have to do that sound thing, which means that I probably could do that in that function. I mean that sound thing. Yeah, the only thing is that I would also have to move that thing about frame here. Get hash. Yeah, okay. So where then again? Right, so I'm not setting a frame here. Oh, yeah, that's a bit painful. So I'm thinking I maybe could have some sort of keyword argument for a next frame or something. So where else? Yeah, and the same code here. So how that different from that other code? Frame. So the frame next stance. So where is it? Cont next stance. So I'm changing the frame. Oh, yeah, okay. First get hash. Yeah, that's a nifty code here I have written at one point. So yeah, that's a bit too clever, and because of that I have a small trouble of extending it. But I guess I could work that out. I guess I could. So here I'm setting frame after this switch stance. Yeah. Yeah, I could rewrite that. I could rewrite that, and because of that, I could just copy that very same thing inside of switch stance, right? So set a frame to a get hash of next stance of stances. Wait a sec. Frame first get hash new stance from stances. Yeah, that can totally go here. Yeah, cool. So okay, first of all, let's use the magic powers of setf to set several things at one go. So I would want to set a frame to that thing. That's my setf. Yeah, cool. So by doing that, I don't need this line. I also, wait a sec. Yeah, I also don't. Yeah, I will get to that back in a bit, and I don't need this line. Right, cool. So let's get back here. No, wait a sec. Time counter. Incaf, time counter, delta time. Yeah, okay. I guess I'm just dealing properly here with time counter. So yeah, I need to rewrite that. I'll just comment that in a clever way with nil, and yeah, I would just change it to a basic cont. But it will do basically the same things. So if remaining frames is not nil, but the thing is we will just do setf right here. So we will setf frame, yeah, setf frame to the first of remaining frames. That's it. Yeah, and then the next condition of last stance, we just do nothing. How? I mean, can I do that in cont? I can't quite remember. Close. So the closest test form and form star. So does it include no form? Okay, let's just test. Let's just write some cont. Something like, I don't know, nil print 1, and then true. So here in that place should be some form, but I will just close this form, and then yeah, that's my content. So would that work? Yeah, that works. Awesome. That's just one more time says about how awesome Common Lisp is. So the thing is, I don't want nothing if last stands. Wait just a second. Let's just use some variable here, and then some true print 2. And yeah, let's just set that variable here. Let's set a to true. Alright, that works. So if I set a to null, yeah, it prints 2 just as expected. So yeah, I will just have an empty cont close here. So then the next one, next stance. So in next stance we do switch stance, which internally switches frame, so I don't need the next form. And then in every other case we just switch to idle, and again do not need those next form to set a frame. So yeah, that's my cont. Yeah, that's that. Wait, was it in the same? No. Where should that be? Here? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, right. So that's that. So have I made everything that's needed? Let's see. Stance, time counter. Yeah, I guess that's all covered. So the thing is, yeah, I would have to emit a sound here. Change to emit sound. Yeah, I very much need that line to work, to these things about loot to work, because that's actually a sprite, and the sound of dropping it on the ground is emitted when it is just created. But wait a sec. The thing is that I actually might want to play this sound when only like on the end, so that also makes sense here. And yeah, so see that sound, where was that? So let's see this, for instance, this loot health potion idle, which is actually basically just the sound of the water bottle dropping. So let's play it. Yeah, here. So that would make more sense if that is emitted when the animation of that drop-in actually ends rather than when it starts. So yeah, that's clever. Let's do that. So do I actually have any situations in which I just create the component, the sprite component, and I need some sound to play right away? I guess not, because yeah, by default it is idle, and I think maybe I don't want the idle animation to have a sound, but actually I do have idle sound animation for a zombie. It's this like humming sound, like so yeah, I guess I still need that. So I think I can just go with changing that line to % switch stance helper. And yeah, for that I will need to move it a bit further in the file. So yeah, let's see, switch stance. So we have a stance frame. Where was it? Frame. Oh, so I don't also set a frame. Yeah, by default it is 0, but idle animation could be not at 0. So yeah, by changing that, I also like fix a possible bug. So that's good. Right. Where was I? So I need to switch stance of an entity to idle. So yeah, I don't need this one then. But wait a sec. What was... Oh yeah, so this way this event issued here would be changing from idle to idle. So this kind of makes sense a tiny bit. Not really, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe I would also need to comment at least about those properties. Yeah. Kind of directions. Yeah. Oops. Nope. Nope. Document. So I need to document sprite properties. Right. So where was I? So now I have this thing going, and yeah, I need basically this function to be defined before. Before what? Before this one, before my prefab component. Yeah, here. Alright, cool. So now I have this one. Wait, what? Variable next stance. Oh yeah, get hash. Not next stance, but rather new stance. Yeah, that's it. And then this one. Okay, cool. So what has left to do here? Yeah, to actually play a sound. So that time counter. Yeah, maybe I should also switch time counter to some like default value in that helper, or should I? Or maybe pass that as the keyword argument, maybe. Time counter. No, I'm in FN and the FN here. That wouldn't be very convenient. So how do I do that? Yeah, maybe I'll just leave it, or just leave a comment. So yeah, let's first of all change the comment. I mean the doc string of that. Not any extra checks. Does not affect. Do I make it caps? Time counter of sprite. Damn it. Damn it. Sprite. Yeah, and maybe the thing is that this time counter also should have some line in documentation, but yeah, I will deal with documentation later. So yeah, I would need to copy that string also to this helper that also uses that one. Yeah, switch stance. Here, yeah, right. Okay, cool. So where was I? Switch stance. Yeah, right. The sound, the actual sound, I would need to emit it here. I mean, in this switch stance helper. So let's do that. How do I do that? Okay, so first of all, I would have to know which sound to emit. So let's just model the situation here. Let's just, yeah, swing. Yeah, right. So here, the user data. For some reason, I don't have any user data here, which is to be expected, I guess. Right. So here I would need a plist containing that sound. So how should that look like? Where was it? Spider ant, body walk, spider ant, body swing. Yeah, right, and the sound. So I guess I would call an entity, or sorry, the property just sound. Does that make sense? Just sound. And like some string like that here. Yeah, something like that. Enter and yeah, save. So let's just look again. Okay, I would have just a short technical break and I'll be back. So yeah, stay tuned. Alright, so I'm back. So let's get back to this thing regarding the sound for frames in a sprite. Oh, so first of all, what about data types? So do I want a string here? Maybe I want, yeah, actually here I don't even need the file extension because I'm using those as prefabs actually. So yeah, as you can see, there is no any file extension here. Right, so I can go just with the symbol, I guess. Make keyword. Okay, so here it is actually a keyword, right? So I'm calling format symbol and then make keyword. So yeah, that's obviously a keyword. So it should look something like that. Sound and then spider ant body swing. Yeah, that's that. So now no implicit magic here, only explicit, like the definition of a sound that should be played. Yeah. So, and then should this property be named sound? How do I... Man, I'm so bad at naming things. So like the sound system. Yeah, okay. Let's just call it sound. I have no like imagination for this. So alright, sound and then the sound name. Okay, let's double check, and yeah, that's that. So let's get back to the code. I guess I don't need that at all. And now here I should do that sound thing. The thing is, should I do that before the event or after? I guess before. Oh, but wait a second. I guess I still could use the handler for that event. Because, well, all of the places, yeah, that's the only occurrence where I call it, and the and all of the instances of the places where I should have that sound, I do call this %helper. So yeah. Yep, that makes sense. That kind of makes sense. Oh, how do I do that? Okay, so let's do that thing about the sound. Right, so I would have to do something similar to that, but not precisely similar. So yeah, frame data. How do I... Okay, so I think this frame data is kind of for all layers. So this sprite file, it contains layers, and let me just open another one, like heroin, this one. So it could have a lot of layers, as you could see here, but the properties are kind of referred to every frame in every layer. Let's just check that. Yeah, that's how I did that. Or maybe I just copied that for every layer. But anyway, let's get back to spider end, and yeah. So the thing is, I probably don't need to go over all of the layers as I did in this old code before. Right. Yeah, how do I actually refer to that frame data and what it even is? So it's simple array. Oh, it's array of hash tables. So the hash table is those properties, and the array is because, well, we have a lot of frames, right? Yeah, I guess so. But the thing is, I actually have, I don't think I have these properties set for every, like for instance, let's look at that animation. Yeah, I don't have it set for the all like sequence of animations. I only have it set for the first ones, which is the east direction. So yeah, and for instance, let's check out the death animation again. So yeah, here I do have this property. So how do I handle this in code? I mean, do I handle this at all? Frame data. Yeah, load sprite frame data. Result, make a rateable stance length. Wait a sec, is it for stances? How do I... Right, let's just start the game and have a look at, well, how this looks. This data. Oh yeah, this is going to take a lot of time with this spider ant having his attack sequence of 1 second. But anyway, so what I want here, I want to use with sprite macro for a player entity with no bindings, and then I want just to see frame data. Would that work? Yeah, that works. Okay, cool. So how much is that? It has 32 elements. 32. Oh, yeah, okay. So the thing is, we only have it for a first bunch of sequences. I mean, for that east direction. Right? So, yeah, and for instance, let's see here, next stance walk, yeah, something like that. And some of those should be death animation, I guess this one, and yeah, it is non-interruptible. Right, 32. So how am I getting this data correctly? Let's just see. Switch down. So yeah, frame data. Frame data. Yeah, ARF frame data frame. But this wouldn't work. I mean, come on, frame. Or would it? Yeah, now my player character is that. So, I mean, the frame, so this depends on how I count the frames. Do I count it like from 0, or do I, or is it the actual number of a frame here in ASE file? Like this one is 86ths, and yeah, let's see. Frames, so I guess I would have to look at system draw, because that's where I actually get the data. And yeah, I multiply frame by width, but that's the special. Oh yeah, I take all of those images from a ASE file and I build one large texture. So this frame is, oh yeah, this all works. So yeah, this all figures out. The frame is not the actual frame in ASE file. Okay, I probably should mention that in documentation. Come on. Not an actual frame in ASE file, but rather what? Rather okay, I will again deal with documentation later. But rather something different. Okay, anyway, so where was I before that? Yeah, right, the frame. So the frame is like the proper thing here. So I can, yeah, obviously I can refer to that frame data for a specific frame. Where was it? Frame data. Yeah, something like that. But instead of non-interruptible, I would access the sound property. So hash sound. Yeah, right. And if that is not nil, so let's use one let. sound is non-null, we do emit sound. So this sound variable would be the value of this. Let's have a look. Swing. Did I put it in swing? Yeah, the swing. Oh, and I maybe want to put it to the last frame of animation, because yeah, that's the very nature of the bug I'm fixing. Right, so this the value of that sound variable would be this keyword spider and body swing. So I just want to pass that to a sound system to, well, make a sound. So something like that. And what? Oh yeah, then I would also need to make a prefab. I mean, why am I using when here? I mean, you obviously always know when. Oh yeah, I've used it here because this thing might not exist, because this is just formed from the name of a sprite and name of a layer and the name of a stance. So this could not exist between all of those files. But now I control precisely which are those sounds and when they are played. Which means I can just go ahead and make this sound component. Yay. So just something like that. And yeah, I guess that's basically it. So let's sound, get our sound from frame data of a frame. And I already set a frame to a new frame, to the proper one. And then I make component for, oh yeah, system. I would need to use a sound system here. Yeah, sound system, entity, prefab, sound, no, just sound. Sound, make component. Yeah, that's it, I guess. That's just it. So let's try and compile. Yeah, okay. So I would obviously need to have to restart that. And let's see. First of all, let's see if that even compiles. This compiles, which is amazing. So let's now try and run it. Alright, cool. So now there would be no sounds at all from the entities, except the spider ant attack, which I forgot to move to the last frame. Okay, let's just go ahead and do that. So remove that, enter. Have I removed that? Yeah, I did. So I obviously need this to be here. Okay, let's just save it and start the game again. Okay, no sounds except spider ant attack at the very end. Let's maybe just pause music for a bit. Okay, let's see. Nope, that's not working for some reason. Okay, weird. Let's get music back, and I guess I would need some debug printing here. Let's just see if that even happens. Right. Let's see. And after a second, 0.2. Okay, no sound here. Why? Array frame data frame sprite entity. These should work. These definitely should work. Okay, let's do a little test here. So again, some debug printing, that's my favorite method of debugging. So unless this stance equals to idle and new stance too. Okay, wait a sec. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that printing. Let's just print the hash table converted to a list or plist or whatever. And then just something to indicate that, like data. Yeah, and the data would be, yes, let's use Alexandria. How was that? Hash plist. Hash table plist. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hash table plist of frame data. No. Of aref frame data frame. Yep. Oops. Okay. Oh, I don't really. Oh, that's because switch stance is inlined. God damn it. So I think to fix that I would have to again restart everything. Yeah, awkward. Oh, even more awkward. Nil. That's interesting. How the heck it is nil? I'm not following. This should not be nil because I've set it to non-nil, goddammit. Death. So for the death we do have non-interruptible T. And then for swing we do have sound spider round body swing. So how the heck it's not working? So properties user data, yeah, that's that. So properties user data. Oh, that might be the different directory. Should that? No, it is the correct one. The procs game dev did kit resources. So how the heck? I guess I would also need to debug the loading process of that sprite. Where was it? Yeah, load sprite frame data. Text. Chunk text. Yeah, okay. So let's just print it here. No, let's just format. First ASE file and then the data. Or then maybe even the frame. Do I have a frame number here? Okay, a frame number. Yeah, I do have a frame number, I think. Okay, so the ASE file and then frame and then text. Let's just see if it even pops up in the file. Why am I switching here? I don't know. Oh, yeah, here we go. That's quite a bit. Why so much? What's happening here? Oh, I'm printing. Okay, so ASE file is the complete structure. I don't need that. I only need the name of that. Okay, ASE file, speed frames, ASE frame, speed tag. Do I have a name anywhere? ASE file. No, I guess I don't have the file name, which is weird, but yeah, okay. Let's just remove that. What's that? Frame. Okay, so the frame again is the full structure, not just a number. Damn it. Yeah, maybe let's just print cell ID. That would make sense. So for this spider ant, the cell ID of 16 should have this sound property. Okay, let's see. Okay, here we go. I forgot the new line, of course, as I always do. Right, so 5 is last stance. Okay, that's some data here. So let's see. We do have some previously defined properties I had before, but I'm not seeing... Oh yeah, I do see sound, spider ant, body swing. So how the heck it's not working? So I would have to write some magic query and then start the game and execute it. So the query would be to see if in mobs, and I do have only one mob, body, I mean, how that macro of mine works, I kind of forgot, but yeah, awkward. So I would need to see, yeah, with mobs and then with sprite of that entity with no bindings, I would have to have a look at frame data. Yep, so now, yeah, I guess I can safely execute it right now. It would just do nothing. Yeah, because I don't have any mobs right now. But now I do. So let's see. Oh yeah, that's a bit of a hash tables. I mean, why? Oh yeah, okay. So let's just run away from that critter and let's see. Let's have a look at hash table plist. So have a look inside of those hash tables. Oh, yeah, no, I haven't meant that. Continue. I meant that for every of those, for every frame in that list, I need to call that. So I need to use map car, HTML list. Yeah, here we go. Damn it, what now? It's not of type list. Oh, that's a vector. Damn it. How do I do something for every element in the vector in CL? I kind of forgot, which is again awkward, so I would have to Google that. Common Lisp. There was this page on Common Lisp cookbook, so let's just see. Yeah, that one. Vector, looping over vector. So, serious loop for. So loop, seriously? I mean, list. Yeah, okay. Let it be that way. Let's use loop. So instead of map car, I would loop across. Okay, I forgot the syntax again. Loop for, yeah. Oops. Damn it, stop attacking me. So loop for frame across frame data. Do print that thing. Hash table plist of frame and some extra parentheses. Damn it. So yeah, here we go. Next stance, and yeah, sound. Here it is. Why it's not working? Okay, so let me just. Okay, how do I? Yeah, let's just exit. So let's just count those things from 0, I guess. Yeah. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15. So I was counting from 0, and that's 15th frame. Okay, okie doke. Data, yeah, data. Data for a frame. Oops. Yeah, let's just start in the same. Yeah. Yeah, 15. That's the 15th cell. If you count from 0, that is. So, where? Oh yeah, inline function. Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. Maybe I would want to comment that. And yeah, maybe just recompile everything that uses this helper. So where is it? That one, that's also in line, which is some extra pain in the butt. Yeah, that's also in line, so let's see. Yeah, that would be easier to just restart the whole Lisp image. But now it's not inline, so that would be a bit easier. Right. Oops, nope. Demo. Yeah. Okay, the frame. Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm just setting this. I'm just trying to emit that sound in the wrong place. Right? Because if I set it somewhere in the middle, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't do a trick. Because that would only happen like here. Right? Like in this very line. And this has nothing to do with switch frame. Right. Yeah, so I would need to take this bit of a code and put it to some appropriate place. What is 18, 12? Yeah, that wouldn't do the trick. So 12 is the first frame of swing animation. 13 if you count from 1, as ASC Pride does for some reason. So yeah, I would need that code in some different place. Don't even need these debug things anymore. So yeah, I'm guessing the good place for that would be where was it? Here. Remaining frames. So for instance, I can put it like here. And yeah, so the thing is, I would emit that sound of a previous frame. And also the bad thing here is that I can like emit a lot of those sounds for the same frame. Oh, I have that. Okay. So I would want to do that only when frame changes. Yeah, I guess that's the place. So that's all good here. But the thing is, okay, so first of all, if the stance changes, yeah, right, I'm kind of missing the one frame here, is the dreadful off by one error. So if I just switched to some stance, I will get to this code only. Yeah, okay, so I would play the first, the sound of a first frame in the sequence. but then when I reach the end of a sequence, I don't know, it might also work. Sound recompiled. Okay, let's have a try. Let's just recompile that and launch it again, and maybe even pause a music for a bit. Alright, let's see. Nope, can't hear it. Can't hear it at all. So maybe I would just add some debug printing here. Sound. Yep. So what is that? I forgot. I kind of forgot. Where is that debug line coming from? Come on, stop messing with me. Okay, let's just search for a format. Sound D. Oh, weird. I guess it was here in that helper, but I've recompiled that and that. Oh, I'm almost dead. Okay, no sound. Why no sound? Okay, remaining frames, and then if there are remaining frames, so if it's not the last frame of animation, but yeah, that's the last of the sound is emitted in the last frame of animation, yeah. And yeah, again, off by 1 year. So I would want to avoid that error. How do I do that? So okay, if there's a last frame where I would, yeah, okay, so remaining frames would be nil, and I would get inside of this code only when it is time to switch to the next frame. So I would probably get here in switch stance. Okay, I'm thinking maybe I would need some tiny helper that would just emit the sound of that frame, or maybe even current frame, right? Yeah, something like that. Something like that. So okay, why can't I leave this code just here? Because if we have a last frame, no, wait a second. Remaining frames. Oh, I see. So I can put that bit of a code after setting the frame, right? And this way it would work. I guess it should. New game. Yeah, here we go. You heard that? So now it works. But yeah, and also I have this debug written. And yeah, I kind of fixed the bug, but the thing is that it would not work for the situations where I have a sound for a very first frame in some sequence, in some stance. Yeah, let's just call it sequence. Maybe I should rename stance to a sequence. I mean, this would make a bit more sense, I guess. Let me just quickly type a comment about that here. Consider renaming stance to sequence. Okay. So where was I? Right. So now if I have some sound as the first frame, it would not work. Right? The first. Yeah, it would not work because this bit of a code triggers only when we have to switch to the next frame. So yeah. So I would have to have some extra work for this sound to be triggered in the first frame, if I even have that. But I think I do have that, for instance, for that zombie which kinda moans when it is idle. So I would want this moan sound to be at the first frame. Damn it, this, oh yeah, now it's stuck. Okay, I would have to fix that at some point, I guess. Right, so I think I would just, yeah, remove this weird comments here, and yeah, leave a comment about the first frame. So fix the case of a sound for a first frame in sequence. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, I guess that's it for today. I mean, I've almost fixed that bug. I would just need to refine the implementation I've done. I had this awesome idea about embedding the sound inside of ASC Pride. So yeah, good productive day today, or rather tonight. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. Happy Halloween, and yeah, take care. Goodbye.